They said time only moves forward, that the past is gone, unreachable, untouchable, forever sealed in the dust of memory. But in late 2028, a quiet team of researchers at CERN made an observation that shouldn't have been possible. A signal, a microscopic vibration deep within a quantum entanglement chamber, oscillating at a frequency that didn't match any known source. At first, it was dismissed as noise, equipment interference perhaps. But when the same vibration appeared in a parallel test, 12 hours apart, at exactly the same sequence, the scientists froze. One of them, Dr. Lena Volkoff, noticed something strange. When she ran the data backward through a time-symmetric algorithm, the waveform stabilized instead of collapsing. It was as if the signal wasn't from the present at all. It was echoing from the past. The team called it Chronolith, an unintentional bridge created by overlapping entangled quantum particles with a unique temporal phase offset. In simple terms, it allowed a digital pulse to resonate not just across space but across time. Lena's mentor, Professor Amir Nadim, tried to dismiss it as coincidence. Time symmetry isn't communication, he warned. It's chaos that only looks meaningful. But Lena was unconvinced. She ran an experiment, encoding a short binary message in a photon pair and firing it into the chamber. It was simple. Hello. For 24 hours, there was nothing. Then, in the middle of the night, a reply appeared on the receiver. 5 letters, same binary format. But not hello, it said, stop. The team stared in silence. Was it random? A glitch? Or was something or someone trying to warn them? Word of the experiment was kept secret. Only 6 people knew the truth. Funding was quietly rerouted. And behind closed doors, Project Chronolith officially began. Every rule of physics said this was impossible, but every data point said otherwise. And as the first successful backward transmission in human history, it meant one terrifying thing. The past wasn't silent anymore. It could listen and it could answer. After the stop message, most of the team wanted to shut Chronolith down. But Dr. Lena Volkoff couldn't. The signal wasn't a threat to her. It was a conversation waiting to happen. So in secret, she built a second transmitter. Smaller, portable, powered by a self-contained quantum battery. She called it the Mirror Box. Unlike the original system, the Mirror Box could tune the temporal offset with precision, milliseconds, seconds, even years. It was illegal, unauthorized, and completely unstable. But Lena didn't care. She set the receiver to target 1 year in the past and then sent the word, "Who are you?" This time the response came instantly. "You know us." She froze. Who was us, a hacker? A reflection of her own code looping backward? Or something beyond comprehension? The next few days were chaos. The more she used the mirror box, the stronger the responses became. Entire phrases forming from nowhere. Sometimes in binary, sometimes in full words. Sometimes in her own handwriting, projected as residual static on the display. Her colleagues found out. Professor Nadim was furious. "You've broken containment," he shouted. "You've opened a channel we can't control." But before he could shut it down, the facility lost power for exactly 7 seconds. And when systems rebooted, the control logs showed something impossible. A transmission from 2043, 15 years ahead of their time. The message contained encrypted coordinates in the middle of the Arctic Circle. And beneath it, 2 words that sent chills through everyone present. "Help us." Lena became obsessed. If there's a signal from the future, she argued, that means we survive. We have to know what happens. But the government had already intervened. The Chronolith chamber was sealed. Classified. Still, Lena didn't stop. Using scraps of the old blueprints, she recreated the mirror box at home. And late one night, she activated it again. The reply was no longer cryptic. It was personal. "Lena, you caused this." And attached to the message, a distorted image. Her own face, and older, terrified, standing in front of ruins she didn't recognize. That night, she recorded her final log. If time can talk, then it can also scream. And maybe what we're hearing is its warning. Within hours, Lena disappeared. Her home was found empty. The mirror box gone. Chronolith had gone silent again. But the signal never really stopped. It was still echoing, bouncing between moments, waiting for someone else to listen. After Lena's disappearance, Chronolith was officially dismantled. All research materials were seized under the Temporal Containment Act. The government declared the experiment terminated. But in reality, it had only changed hands. Hidden deep within an abandoned Cold War bunker, a private research consortium called Aether Dynamics quietly took over. Its members were an elite mix of scientists, defense analysts, and unknown investors. People who didn't want to study the past. They wanted to rewrite it. Their mission: trace the source of Lena's final transmission, the signal from 2043 that begged for help. And so in 2031, they reactivated Chronolith using a larger, more powerful core called the temporal engine. This time the results were immediate. The receiver didn't just pick up sound, and it recorded visual anomalies. Flickers of landscapes under strange skies, structures made of light, and human silhouettes moving through shattered cities. But these figures didn't walk. They glitched. Frame by frame, they seemed to phase in and out of existence, or as if time itself was unstable around them. Lead technician Raphael Cho described it best. It's like watching ghosts trying to remember they're alive. Soon after, Aether Dynamics realized these weren't just random images. Each transmission was accompanied by a data pulse, fragments of future knowledge encoded within the distortion. New materials, unknown languages, even fragments of human DNA. Someone or something was sending information back. The project was renamed EchoNet. Their new goal: to reconstruct an entire map of the future world based on these time echoes. But as their database grew, so did the inconsistencies. Each future transmission showed a different version of Earth. In one, the world was flooded, cities half underwater. In another, there was no sky, just an endless red haze. In others, humanity was gone altogether. It was as if they weren't receiving one timeline. They were tapping into many. And through them all, one phrase repeated in the background noise like a chorus of whispers: correct the fracture. Aether Dynamics thought it was a reference to the temporal instability. But when they decrypted the metadata of one transmission, it contained coordinates, the same Arctic coordinates from Lena's message. The team realized something chilling. Every timeline, no matter how different, pointed to that same frozen location. The Arctic was the epicenter of everything. And when they compared the timestamps, they found one terrifying truth. All signals, no matter their origin, ended abruptly on June 27, 2043. After that date, nothing. The future itself went silent. In early 2032, a small expedition team under the guise of climate research was sent to the coordinates uncovered by Aether Dynamics. The location: a desolate patch of Arctic ice constantly shifting, unreachable by conventional mapping. Satellite imagery showed nothing. No structures, no signals, just frozen emptiness. Yet when the team arrived, their instruments went wild. Compasses spun uncontrollably. Communication systems failed. And then, beneath the thick sheet of ice, sonar detected something impossible. A massive geometric structure buried deep below the surface, perfectly symmetrical, and emitting a faint electromagnetic hum. Dr. Raphael Cho described the readings as not natural, not mechanical, but alive. The formation was named the Chronolith. At first, the team believed it to be an ancient alien relic, but when they sent a probe beneath the ice, the sensors detected fragments of human technology. Fiber optics, titanium alloy, and, disturbingly, fragments of the Chronolith core. It wasn't alien, it was human-made, but from a time that hadn't yet happened. The deeper they went, the more unstable time itself seemed to become. Footage recovered from the team's body cameras showed visual distortions. Objects flickering between states, shadows moving in reverse, and ice melting upward. One recording captured the moment they reached a glowing chamber. At its center stood a circular device, the same design as Chronolith, but enormous and pulsing with energy. A voice, faint and fragmented, played through every radio simultaneously. "You shouldn't have come here." The feed cut off. That was the last transmission from the expedition. Days later, a rescue team was dispatched. They found no trace of the researchers, only a perfectly smooth crater of melted ice, as if something immense had briefly existed there and then vanished without a trace. Back at Aether Dynamics headquarters, the data from the Chronolith probe began replaying itself automatically. Within the static, a new message emerged, one that stunned the scientists. "This is Dr. Lena Moreau. If you're receiving this, it means the loop has failed again. The Chronolith isn't a structure, it's an anchor. We tried to stabilize time, but it's breaking faster than we can fix it. Don't rebuild it. Every attempt just restarts the collapse. Lena's voice was calm, but layered with echoes of herself, as if multiple versions were speaking at once. Aether Dynamics realized the truth. The future wasn't sending them warnings. The future itself was trying to stop us from existing. For the first time, the researchers began to question whether time travel wasn't just dangerous, but fundamentally unnatural, and that maybe humanity's desire to control time had already doomed it, countless times before. Weeks after the Arctic incident, Aether Dynamics was shut down by global authorities. Officially, the reason was security breaches. Unofficially, it was because time itself had started to fight back. Cities began reporting strange phenomena. People claiming to see versions of themselves walking past, birds frozen midair for seconds then resuming flight, digital clocks flickering between years, 2042, 1998, 2109, and back again. Across the world, radio frequencies began broadcasting a low hum, identical to the Chronolith signal. Governments called it interference, but those who listened long enough began to hear their voices. Voices whispering in overlapping tones saying the same haunting message. You did this. You built the anchor. One night, a video leaked from within the ruins of Aether Dynamics. Security cameras showed the remnants of the lab. Empty chairs, flickering monitors, and something glowing in the center. The Chronolink core reassembling itself. Not by machines, but by time reversing around it. Lena Moreau's digital logs suddenly decrypted themselves. In one final entry, she spoke directly to whoever might find her words. We thought time was a river, but it's more like a mirror, one that cracks every time we touch it. The Chronolith wasn't meant to connect us to the past. It was meant to keep the future from collapsing in on itself. Every test we ran, every signal we sent, it echoed backward, rewriting history in fragments. That's why memories don't match. That's why the same event feels different to each of us. We're already living inside the broken reflection. Her voice faded and then silence. Moments later, all electronic records related to Chronolink vanished, deleted from servers, backups, even offline hard drives. Only fragments remained, and one chilling image captured by a security drone over the Arctic. The Chronolith glowing once again, pulsing brighter, faster, until it emitted a final blinding flash. For 3 full seconds, the entire world experienced static. Satellites lost signal, GPS systems failed, and every clock on Earth reset to 0:00. When systems came back online, global databases showed the date as January 1st, 2000. But humanity didn't notice, because memories had already rewritten themselves. The loop had reset again. And somewhere deep beneath the Arctic, the Chronolith waited, dormant but listening, waiting for the next civilization to find it and repeat the cycle once more.